Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to explain Bayes theorem, why we need it and how we can use it. So I'm taking a very simple example here. Let's consider a fire department. So how this fire department works, they whenever they get a urgent call, they go there and they extinguish the fire and they take the control on the fire. Now uh, for each such incident they are also logging the details, and these details are like whether there was fire. In case yes, what was the other attribute, like how much damage has been done, was there any smoke, what was the intensity of the fire. So there are a number of attributes. So these firefighters, or we can say other officials, they record these kind of data. So this is the, we can say this is the class attribute. Okay, so it can show like whether there was fire or no, what was the corresponding data attributes. Now, from such table, what kind of knowledge they can gain? So let's say if they have this table. So for simplicity purpose, I am considering here only a single attribute, smoke. So from this table, what kind of knowledge they can gain? So the knowledge they can gain, like if they want to see in what was the probability of smoke in fire incidents. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to consider only incidents when there was fire, when this class attribute was yes, or when we can say when this class attribute was that there was fire. Now out of these records, how many times there was smoke? So if you want to write it, we can write it in this way, that out of 7 fire incident, so these are total 7 records, out of 7 fire incident there were smoke 4 times. Okay, 1 2 3 4. So this is the simple statement. Now we are going to write this statement in mathematical notation. So the thing is that we are considering only fire incidents. There can be other incident as well when there was no fire. So first of all, we are considering only fire incident, and out of these incident we are considering how many times there was smoke. So it will be written as conditional probability. This conditional probability, so is written like con given that the incident was fire, and out of those incident how many times there was smoke. So this probability is written as 4 by 7. So whenever we have data for a class, uh, like we are having a class attribute which will show to which class that particular attribute belongs to, and we are having corresponding data attribute. So from that table, the knowledge we can gain, we can compute the probability of observing a particular data for a particular class. So the if we depict this knowledge, so what knowledge we have this relationship knowledge, like fire to smoke. So in our case it is fire to smoke. In a general case it will be like this side will be the class attribute and this side will be the data attribute. So from a given table we can compute probability of observing a data. So in that case, probability of observing smoke given that there was a fire. Now let's say on a fine day a firefighter saw some smoke in the sky. Now they want to compute the chances of fire, like they want to take this decision whether they should go for it or not. Now the problem is that the knowledge they have is fire to smoke. So the relationship knowledge they have is this one. But in this case we have knowledge about smoke, that there are smoke, and we want to compute the probability of fire. So the relationship they are looking for is this one. So what they have this knowledge. Given the class attribute, they can compute the probability of a given data attribute. Or in our case, given that the incident was fire, they can compute the probability of smoke. So mathematical notation is this one. But what they want is, they want that given that there was a smoke, what was the probability of fire? Okay, so they are looking for this relationship, and this relationship in mathematical notation can be written as probability of observing fire given that there was smoke. Now these are some concepts from conditional probability. So let's say there are two events A and B. So this probability says that this is the probability of event A happening given that event B has already happened. Okay, so this probability can be written as probability of happening both event together divided by probability of happening event B. And similarly we can apply the same rule here as well, like we want to compute the probability of happening event B given that event A has already happened. So this is the formula for this one. So from here we got this one, from here we got this one, and from these two equations you can see that left hand side is equal. So we can put these two entities equal to each other, and from here we are deriving Bayes theorem. So this theorem says that if you are having a knowledge about A to B, like you can compute the probability of B given A. So from using this formula you can compute the reverse relationship. Okay, so in our case what we want to compute, we want to compute probability of fire given that there was smoke, and the knowledge we have given fire, we can compute the probability of smoke. So applying Bayes theorem we are going to compute this probability. So I have extended this table, I have added some more attribute to show that that another class, like when there was a fire, when there was no fire. So what we want to know, we want to know probability of fire given that there was smoke, and for computing this probability what we are going to need, we are going to need these three probabilities. So these three probabilities we can easily compute from this table. So first of all let's see what's the probability of fire. So from this attribute, see how many times there was fires. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so there are total 10 records, and out of 10 there was 7 times fire. So this probability is 7 by 10. Now similarly probability of smoke, so out of 10 there are 5 times that there was smoke. Now how we are going to find out this probability of smoke given that there was fire? So first of all this is a conditional probability and we are going to consider only records where there was fire. So out of 10 we are going to consider only these 7 records. Okay, because this is a conditional probability, we need to consider records where there was fire. So out of these 7 records, how many times there was smoke? So there are 1 2 3, 3 times there was smoke. So this probability will be 3 by 7. Now we are going to apply Bayes theorem and we will put all this probability here. So this is the way we can compute the probability of fire given smoke. So the use of Bayes theorem is actually to find out a probability, to gain the knowledge of a relationship, or we can say the in opposite direction. So what we usually have, we have data about classes. So we have knowledge about class to data attribute. We can compute the probability of observing particular data for a particular class. But what we are interested in, we want to find out that given a data, we want to predict what class that data belongs to. So we are looking for a relationship in the opposite direction. So Bayes theorem is actually allow you to compute probability, allow you to gain knowledge from B to A if you have knowledge from A to B. So I hope this video, from this video you understand the concept. In case if you have any query, uh, you can post your comment. Thank you very much for watching.